up? So today we making these buffalo chicken pockets. I saw a recipe, and I had to put my day way little style on it. I call it the day way. Yeah, I like that. You like that? I like that. So first off, I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Okay, boneless, skinless. So I stripped them up, and then I cut them into chunks like so. You see what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Just cutting it up. You can cut it up however you want, but since I am making pockets, it's going to be part of my filling. Basically, stuffing, filling, you get it. So I put a little bit of oil in the skillet, and we're going to go ahead and get a nice brown to the chicken. Okay, a nice brown to the chicken. And while it's browning, I put in some frozen veggies, frozen peppers and onions. Frozen. That's what I decided to use. When it comes to things where I have to stuff them like this, egg rolls, wontons, stuff like that, I don't really, it don't matter if it's frozen or fresh for me. Really, that's in general, but it always depends on what you're making. Well, at least to me, it depends on what you're making, because some stuff I do like to use fresh peppers and onions, and then you got stuff like this where I'm like, oh, I got some frozen veggies, just throw that in that thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's really about preference, but I just do what I feel is right, So we're gonna put a top on this and let it cook, but first we're gonna season it. Now all of the seasonings will be at the bottom. I even put a video in here just so you could see. So I put some adobo, some onion powder, some Creole seasoning, some of the roasted pepper or roasted garlic and pepper. You're gonna see in a minute. I'm just seasoning this thing, but you about to see the clip, because I definitely I filmed a little clippy clip of the seasonings that I use to make it specific. So if you got a pause or something like that, you can do that in a minute. It'll be up momentarily. So just give it a nice mix, and I'm gonna be putting the top on this and letting it cook so the chicken can cook thoroughly. The frozen peppers and onions ain't gonna take that long, but it's really the chicken that need to cook. So put top on that, let that cook. Now this is what I was talking about. I was pretty spot on with the seasonings. But yeah, this is all I use. I'm still gonna put them at the bottom, but these literally were the only ones I used. I love this seasoning right here. That's the one. That smells so good. It don't matter what you put on it. It smells so good. So good. So then this how the chicken was looking once it was, almost about cooked. More cooked than it started, more cooked than it started. So we basically I'm just kind of breaking up the big pieces, because I don't really, I could have used my spoon with the flat bottom to chop it up better, but yeah. So I'm basically just chopping in half, or like cutting in half the big chunks. Because like I said, since this is a filling and it's going to be going inside something, I don't want the chicken that big, the chicken chunks. So I just, as it gets cooked, I am able to, do what I'm doing right there. Chop it in half. Make them into small chunks instead of the big ones. Okay? So that's it. That's all we doing. Okay? And just to make it, give it extra flavor, I'm adding a little bit of Valentina hot sauce, Mexican hot sauce. It is thebomb.com. Okay? The bomb. You better, if you don't know about that Valentina, you better get on that and that Tapatio. Them will do it for me. Them will do it. So we're going to give it a nice little mixy mix. Like so. Like so. I love to add the hot sauce to add a nice little color to the chicken too. Need all the flavor. So it's going to be kind of like a spicy buffalo chicken pocket. You know what I'm saying? But look at that. I can taste it through the camera, through the screen. I can smell it. I can taste it. So good, y'all. So freaking good. I love chicken thighs. I love using chicken thighs, especially when it comes to stuff like this. Because you can just chop it up and, dice it up real good, and, you good. So since the chicken cooked, I just turned that pretty much off, and we're going to basically make the paste that you need So my flour is brown because I'm using whole wheat flour, and I'm adding water. Basically, add and mix. Kind of add and mix, because you need a nice ratio, because you don't want it chunked up, but you don't want this paste to be loose. It's literally a paste. So anything paste like that you can think of, that's the consistency that you want here with this flour. So I probably added a little bit too much water, but it did what it needed to do for what I needed to be done. Okay, that's what matters. That is what matters. So I'm just gonna keep mixing until I get the consistency that I want. Okay. I didn't need all this, but I still got a tendency of doing too much when it comes to things. So I didn't need all this to make no paste. I just needed like maybe half of that. But I'd rather have a lot more than too less. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have a little bit more than less. So that's what we doing. Just mixing it up. Okay. Till it get like this. Or it could be thicker than that. Because like I said, I added a little bit too much water. But it need to be like a paste consistency. So then go ahead and let that, put that to the side. And ain't got to cook or nothing. I don't know what So I'm just adding the chicken to the bowl. Now I'm just finna add everything to the bowl to create our mixture / filling for these pockets. These stuffed pockets. And it was so good. Like, ooh, so freaking good, y'all. So then I added all of the chicken that we just cooked. I added a full block of cream cheese, some buffalo sauce, what I had left of this honey chipotle barbecue sauce, and I added some banana peppers, I added some jalapeños, and some cheese. But the specifics, of course, like I said, will be at the bottom. If you need all the ingredients and all that good stuff, I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So at this point, I'm just mixing it up. Make sure the cream cheese is in that thing. Make sure everything is everything. You know what I mean? I mixed it up, and then that's when I added the shredded cheese. It's just like a regular, like, Colby Jack, maybe. But yeah, mix it up till it look like this. And now we're making the pockets. Now watch closely. So since I had big shells, I was able to cut it in half. So I cut it in half first, and then we basically rolling this into a cone. And it's not basically, we're rolling this into a cone. Okay, you see that? Roll into a cone, and you're gonna use that paste to seal it. The paste is the sealant for these pockets. So roll it into a cone to look like this, like that. And now we're gonna stuff it. Don't do too much, because then it's gonna be hard to close it. Basically, do not stuff them too much, unless you got a big tortilla. But since these are gonna be smaller pockets, I'm definitely not gonna stuff it too much. And then use the paste to seal that also, and then you're done. You're just gonna keep doing this and repeat until you ain't got no more filling. You ain't got nothing left. So make it into a cone. Then use the sealant to seal it together. And you might, like I'm using, you might need to use gloves too, because it's going to get real messy. Okay? And then you're going to seal it like so. Stuff it, seal it. Roll into a cone, stuff it, seal it. Boom. And this is what we was looking like. This is what we was looking like before I put them in the air fryer. As I'm doing right here. Putting them in the air fryer nicely. This was such a good snacky snack. Then I added a little bit of spray on top of that, and I cooked them until they were brown like this. You don't have to cook them that long. I did them on 400, and I say tops 6 or 7 minutes, or until crispy. But air fryer, 400 degrees, and just basically cook it until it is crispy to your liking. And like, as you know, I like a nice little brown to mine when it comes to stuff like this. So I like a super crispiness. And that's what I did. Super crispy. So freaking good. You know? So good. So, and then I made a little saucy sauce to go on top of that. Lately, I've been making a lot of saucies. And you know, eventually I'm gonna have to put these things in the stove, okay? But I had to bite that thing, show you what it looked like inside, and it was so good. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.